In this video, we're going to go over the basics of patterns, both in 2D and 3D, so sketches and 3D geometry. One thing to note about patterns is that they can only be done in KCL today. With that being said, let's open up the KCL code pane. And here I have my basic extrusion, my rectangular prism, and I want to create some holes starting from this top face. To do that, I'll say holes equals start sketch on. And mind you, I could have called this whatever I want. That's just my variable. I called it holes. And I want to extrude on this top face. And to do that, I need to pass in the body as well as which face I need. Notice that it defaulted to XY, which just means I want to sketch on the XY plane. But for this example, that's not what I want. So I'll pass in extrude 001 as well as face equals end. And the reason I know that that's the end face is because of the extrude direction when I made this extrusion right here. Because it was extruded in the Z direction or upwards, so this would be the end cap. Once I know that, I'm going to create a circle on the top face and maybe place it at 10, 0, and 1, which just means 10 in the X direction, 10 inches in this case, since I'm in inches, 0 in the Y, and with a radius of 1 inch. And I'm going to do a linear pattern. So first we're going to do pattern linear 2D. And notice that it kind of did its own thing. Since I auto-completed it, it's just doing what it says in KCL. Instances, I'll do, let's say 4 with a distance of 5, and I'll go in the negative X direction. So the axis, you just need to pass in a normalized value. So -1, 0 means absolutely in the negative X direction. If I did +1, 0, it would go in the positive X direction. 0, 1 would go positive Y. Then 0, -1 would go into negative Y. You can also do angles by saying like 1, 2, for example. So there is my pattern. And then I could create holes by doing, let's say, an extrusion back through the part of -5. And now I have my 4 holes. Now let's say I wanted to do a circular pattern. I could do pattern circular 2D. And for this one, let's do 4 instances at a center of 0, 0. That goes 360 degrees around. And rotate duplicates is more important if it's not asymmetric sketch. So circles, it doesn't matter, but if this was like a smiley face, for example, then it would matter because do you want to rotate the duplicates to face the center or not? And notice that this is slightly off my part, so I'm going to increase my part length a little bit. Let me go down to, let's say 20, and let's go by a value of 40. Increased my part, so now it will fit. Let's do our extrusion again. And now we have the 4 holes. And then what's really important about 3D patterns is that it's going to take everything with it. Everything that has been created in this 3D geometry, it's coming with. So if I, for example, do linear or pattern linear 3D and say maybe 2 instances at a distance of 50 or 60 and do this along the x-axis, notice that it also took the holes with it because it's just grabbing everything it knows beforehand, everything that's a part of the body, and taking it with it. If I did something on like the x-axis, for example, so I have my extrusion and the x-axis, those are technically 2 separate entities, and it would only take one, whichever one I specify. I hope that makes sense. And then it's the same thing with the pattern circular 3D. So let's do pattern circular 3D. Let's do 4 instances at along or around the z-axis. The center at, let's go 100, 360 degrees. And once again, do I want to rotate the duplicates? I'll say, actually, let's say true.